All right, let's take a look at how to set up a sales journal and in QuickBooks so that you can manually bring over your sales. Now, I'm going to do this example from our previous video. And so we're going to be manually bringing in the sales daily. Some folks choose to bring in their sales every day so that it's a little easier to um, compare and make sure that find any issues between what the point of sale system reports and what was actually deposited. But some folks choose to, you can wait till the end of the month and just run a report inside of your point of sale system for the whole month and then put that in just as one journal entry at the end of the month. So like I said, there's pluses and minuses to both. Obviously, if you're entering a sales journal every single day, there's a little bit more time for data entry as opposed to just doing one journal entry at the end of the month. But if you have to troubleshoot and find where the point of sale system and what was deposited don't coincide or don't match up, it can be a little more challenging to find it when you're just doing a whole month at a time. But so for our purposes, we're just going to do a daily one. And I'm just using Craig's, the sample company. So we've got to do a little bit of setup first. So first of all, we need in our chart of accounts, we need our clearing account, and then we need to set up some accounts for these different things. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to transactions, chart of accounts, and then I'm going to go to our new button. And the first thing I'm going to create is the clearing account. I'm just going to call it cash clearing. And then I'm going to name it. You can either call it a bank account or you could call it you put it in as a bank account, and then you could just say cash on hand is really probably the best way to do it, because we're just creating this inside of QuickBooks. It's not an actual bank account. This is just a place that we can catch what the point of sale system is reporting versus what was actually deposited. Okay, I'm going to leave the rest of this blank and hit save. And now you can see we have this cash clearing account. Currently it's set at 0. All right. So now we need an income account that is sales. And I'm not sure if this account already has that. I'm going to go back up here. Sale of product income. So I'm just going to use that sale of product income for sales. And then I'm going to try, they don't have a set sales tax account. So I'm going to set up that. So I'm going to go to new. And I'm going to say sales tax liability, because that's what we'll owe. And it's going to be a current liability. And I'm going to put it in as an other current instead of sales tax, because sometimes QuickBooks, once it sees sales tax, it won't let you edit it quite as much. So I'm just going to put it in as an other and hit save. And then we also need a tips account, and tips are another one that they're a liability to you because you've collected the tips, and then you need to add the tips to the employee's paycheck. So we're going to put it in as tips collected through the point of sale system. And again, I'm going to put it in as a current liability and an other current liability. Okay. All right. So we have our cash clearing account. And then if we go down, we're going to use sale of product income to record our sales to. And then we have a sales tax liability that we created and a tips collected. Okay, so now what we need to do is set up our journal entry. So I'm going to go to the black new button, go over to journal entry, and I'm going to just use today's date. And so at the top, we're going to put all of the accounts where money was collected. So I'm going to choose sale of product income. I'm going to choose sales tax liability, and I'm going to choose tips. And then at the bottom, we have how that money was collected. So, and both of these would really be cash clearing. So I'm going to, just for the sake of keeping it neat and tidy, I'm going to put cash clearing as two separate line items, one for cash, one for credit cards, just so that when we're reviewing the register, we can see. And in the description here, I'm going to put cash and I'm going to put credit card so that we can see at a glance once we get in the register. You'll see that in just a minute. Okay, so anytime you're increasing an income account or a liability account to increase those, you want to put that under credits, okay? And so for this is our day one, our sales, we increase that by $100. We're going to increase how much we owe in sales tax by $10 because we collected that and we haven't paid it yet. And we also collected $10 in tips that we still needed to disperse out to our employees. So that goes there. Then we go over here to debits because the clearing account is going to be a debit. And our cash was $35 collected, and our credit cards were $85 collected. And you can see down here, our debits and our credits match at $120. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Save and New, and we're going to go ahead and enter the next day. So I'm going to hit Save and New, and then I would put in the next day. And what you can do, I'm going to just recreate this again, but you can create this as a recurring transaction, so it automatically creates a new one of these for you every day, or you can go back to the previous day, hit edit, and then go down here and choose make a copy, and it will copy it so that you don't have to fill in these lines every time. So cash clearing, okay. And so day 2 was 200 in sales, 20 in sales tax, 40 in tips, 100 collected in cash, and 160 in credit cards. I'm gonna make sure I put in cash and credit cards. Okay, so now I'm gonna hit save and close. Now, typically what you would do from here, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that our little reference point there, that would be the report that you would pull out of your point of sale system, okay? So typically what you would do now is go to your transactions, bank transactions, and when you find those deposits that came in, what you would do is you would click on that deposit and you would choose the account of cash clearing. Okay, I'm going to choose it just so that you can see what happens in the register. Obviously, this isn't going to match up correctly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit add. But for our own purposes, we don't have this bank feed to work with. So I'm just going to create a new bank deposit. And I'm going to say checking. And let's say it was our day 1 and 2 deposit. So I'm going to choose cash clearing as the account. And we deposited a total of $135. Okay, so this was day 1 and 2. You don't have to put descriptions in. This just gives you a point of reference. Okay, and so now I'm going to hit save and close, and it has created that bank deposit inside of QuickBooks for us. It just hasn't been matched to something that came through the bank. So now I'm going to go back to transactions, chart of accounts. And now I'll show you when I go to our checking account and hit view register. Now we can see here's that $201 one that I just added to the cash clearing account from the bank feed. And then here's that deposit that we created. Okay, so both of those are reflecting in our QuickBooks balance right now. Okay, now if I go back out and go to our cash clearing account, when we view that register, now you can see, okay, here was the $200 that really shouldn't be there, right? It should have been, this was just for something else, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and delete that back out of there. It'll take it and put it back over on the bank feed. So now you can see, here was day 1, our journal entry, and this was our credit card of 85, our cash of 35, and then here's our day 2, credit card 160, and cash of 100, and then this shows our checking where we deposited that $135 of cash. So when the credit card processor deposited the 85 and the 35 and those came in the bank feed, you would categorize those as cash clearing, and those would come in here and this would zero itself back out. So this gives you the opportunity to be able to reconcile things at the end. So if you have a point of sale system and you're going to bring it in manually, again, what you can do from here. So I'm going to open the day 2. I'm going to hit edit. Now I can go down here and I can choose make recurring. And I can tell QuickBooks, I want you to create a new one of these every day. And so then you can save the template and it will automatically create a new one of these every single day for you. I highly recommend you go in, if you're going to have it do that, instead of putting an actual day's values in here, I would put like a penny, a penny, a penny, so that if you put in a penny for each one, and then you have to make sure they balance at the end. So like one of these would have to be 2 cents. So we have 1, 2, 3, 2 plus 1 would be 3, so you would equal out. Then if you put those pennies in there, then it will leave the credits and debits in the right column. Otherwise, if you just leave it blank, you're going to have to remember which side do I need to put this in credits or debits. So I like putting in just a penny, a penny, a penny, make it balance. And then, it's real easy to find where you need to start entering information. You don't get confused. All right, so you can make it recurring so that automatically creates a new one. Or you can, if you don't want to do that, if you're doing it just like once a month or something along those lines, you can go to the last one that you did, hit edit, and then you can go down here to where it says more, and you can just make a copy, and then you can enter in the new data from there if you want. Okay, so that's the basics of how to do a journal entry, how to set it up to do your manual point of sale system into QuickBooks, and then how to use the cash clearing account to determine if everything is matching up.